Hey everyone, how's it going? Azren here, owner of the Calgary Language Nerds, and welcome to today's A2/B1 level French lesson. If it's your first time watching any of these French lesson videos, I'm in the middle of a series right now to guide A2 or B1 level French learners and help them to reach a B2 level in the French language. In other words, if you already have a little bit of a base in the French language, I want to help you to really, really crank up your level and reach a B2 level. B2 means upper intermediate. So that is a very, very respectable, very, very strong, strong, strong level. Now, in this point in our language learning journey, we're relatively early, I would say, relatively early. Right now, where I've chosen to focus our attention is on the vocabulary side of things. At the A2 level, at the B1 level as well, we have a tremendously huge, a massive vocabulary gap, and therefore it's important to learn words and phrases that are just used all the time in the French language that you actually don't know. And so today we're going to go through 4 different really high frequency words, and we're going to do a bunch of practice with them. Let me share my screen. Some of the words we've done already, by the way, if we scroll back up, we've worked with aucun, rendre, ainsi, lieu, droit, donc, alors, soit, car. We did puisque as well. Did we do vu que? No, we didn't. We just said puisque. We did puisque, car, tant. We did autant. And today we're going to start working with vers, posé, grâce à, and à cause de. So these are 4 very, very, very high frequency words and phrases that happen, well, that are used all the time in French, obviously. So vers means, vers has a couple of meanings. Let me stop my screen share. Vers means toward. So for example, you run toward somewhere, you run towards school, you walk towards wherever you go, you walk towards somewhere, you run towards somewhere. And vers also can mean like kind of like about. So for example, like we're gonna leave at about 6 o'clock. We're gonna eat dinner at about 5. We're gonna do this at about blah 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 time. Let me share my screen. We can look at some example sentences. Here we go. So here's some for vers. We'll begin with that. So for example, let's do, I don't like this first one. Let's do the second one. Regarde vers le ciel. Look toward the sky. Il y a un avion magnifique. That'd be a very strange sentence, but there's a magnificent airplane. What a strange sentence, no? But regarde vers le ciel. That's the most important part there. Like just look towards the sky, right? Or mon ami habite vers la gare. So they live like towards, even here, towards honestly could work, frankly. Like you live toward, in the direction of the station could kind of work in that sentence as well. I kind of like number 5 quite a bit. Number 5 is a good one. Je vais passer chez toi vers midi. Je vais passer chez toi vers midi. So I'm going to drop by. I'm going to pass by your place at around noon. Maybe 12, maybe 12:15, around 12 o'clock. Our next word here is poser. Now we're going to do some practice. Don't worry. We're going to do some practice together with all these words. But poser has a couple of meanings. The first meaning of poser is to put down, like to place. For example, je peux poser ce téléphone ici. I've placed it over here. Poser can also mean to ask something, so asking a question. In English, we actually have that too, to pose a question, for example. It's a little bit formal, but it does exist. So for example, we can look at a few sentences. Here we go. We can look, for example, let's modify the first one. Tu peux poser, I don't like vas, I like vers. Let's do vers instead. Tu peux poser, actually, I actually don't like that, so let's skip that one. Let's do this one here. Tu as l'air fatigué. Va poser tes affaires et repose-toi. You look tired. Go place your affairs. It's kind of like go place them down somewhere and you can rest. Even that one, I'm not a big fan of it, but you get the gist. Like you're placing something somewhere, right? Skip number 9 for here. We're gonna skip that one. Just skip that one there. We're not gonna worry about that. Let's do number 7. Je ne comprends pas. Alors je vais poser une question. Je ne comprends pas. So I've modified this a bit. Je ne comprends pas. I don't understand. Alors je vais poser une question. Therefore, I'm going to ask a question. So again, I'm not a huge fan, frankly, of these example sentences for some reason, but that's okay. It's an easy concept to understand. Very, very easy concept to understand. In general, poser just means to place something somewhere, or it means to ask a question. And before we move on to grâce à, which is an important word to look at, and we'll look at some different use cases, just remember that pretty much everything that we learn in French, like actually almost everything you learn in French, there are often like multiple meanings for a single word or single phrase, especially when you start to combine it with other kinds of words. And I think at the A2, B1 level, the most important thing is just to look at, I would say, some of the most important use cases and some of the more like, you can almost like just for the time being put some other use cases aside. I'm a big believer of prioritization. I think that getting from an A2 level or a B1 level all the way up to an upper intermediate level, a B2, I think one of the big things that we have to do is that we just have to prioritize our efforts to get there in as efficient of a timeline as we possibly can. And so, even if we share my screen again, we look, for example, like when you look, for example, it even says on this specific AI page here, like poser des jours is also how French people say they're taking or booking days off work. I don't really want to worry about that. We can just like cut that aside. It doesn't matter for now. It's just not the main priority. Anyway, let's look at the next two here. So we have grâce à and à cause de. Now, grâce à and à cause de in English are kind of similar. Like we kind of have a similar translation for those, and they both kind of mean because of. Like, oh my God, because of my friend, I was stranded on the highway. That actually happened to me once. I was stranded on a highway because of a friend. Or like, it's because of you that I'm so happy, right? In English, we use because of in both contexts. But in French, they actually have two, I guess, different phrases that they would use. So for positive outcomes, if we share my screen, we have grâce à. Grâce à is because of, or if you really wanted to translate it positively, you could say thanks to. So for instance, j'ai amélioré mon français grâce à tes conseils. J'ai amélioré mon français grâce à tes conseils. So I improved my French. J'ai amélioré mon français, my French, grâce à tes conseils. Thanks to or because of your advice. We look at number 2 here. On a trouvé cette super recette. So we found this great recipe grâce à une vidéo en ligne. Thanks to or because of a video online. We have a few more sentences here as well. You can read those on your own time. Feel free to pause and have a read through. If you look at some negative ones here, je n'ai pas pu venir au parc à cause de mon rhume. Je n'ai pas pu venir, so I could not come au parc, to the park, à cause de mon rhume, because of my cold. This is kind of a weird sentence. We'll skip number 17. I don't like that one. Let's just slightly simplify number 20 here. On a dû annuler le pique-nique à cause du vent. Let's just get rid of fort just to simplify the sentence. On a dû annuler le pique-nique à cause du vent. We had to cancel the picnic because of the wind. It was just so windy. That happened to me once. I had a campfire I was organizing in like this public park, and it was so windy. The fire was like shooting not ashes, but sparks all over the park. We're like, oh my God, we're gonna like burn the park down. So we had to do that once myself. So let me stop my screen share. I'm gonna read you some different sentences here in French that use some of these terms, and I want you to try your best to understand. Okay, let's do this now. First one here. Le chat marche lentement vers la cuisine car il a faim. Le chat marche lentement vers la cuisine car il a faim. Let's do this one here. Les enfants courent vers la mer. Actually, let's read that one actually a little further. Les enfants courent vers la mer pour nager. I like that more. Les enfants courent vers la mer pour nager. Tournez à gauche et marchez vers la gare. Tournez à gauche et marchez vers la gare. Okay, let's do another one here. Let's do some with poser. Je veux poser une question. Let's keep it simple. Je veux poser une question. Je veux poser une question. Il va juste poser ses affaires et puis revenir. Il va juste poser ses affaires et puis revenir. And last one here. J'ai posé mon livre sur le lit. Let's leave it there. J'ai posé mon livre sur le lit. J'ai posé mon livre sur le lit. Okay, let's do a couple of grâce à. J'ai trouvé cet excellent restaurant grâce à mon frère. J'ai trouvé cet excellent restaurant grâce à mon frère. Let's do this. On a fini de préparer le dîner. One more time. On a fini de préparer le dîner très vite grâce à toi. On a fini de préparer le dîner très vite grâce à toi. Elle parle très bien français grâce à ses amis de Lyon. Elle parle très bien français grâce à ses amis de Lyon. And lastly, we'll do à cause de. Je suis arrivé en retard ce matin à cause des embouteillages. Je suis arrivé en retard ce matin à cause des embouteillages. Embouteillage, by the way, is a traffic jam. That's a word you probably won't know. Le magasin est fermé à cause des vacances d'été. Le magasin est fermé à cause des vacances d'été. And let's leave that there. Let me share my screen. We can look at some of these sentences and more. By the way, just a fun little thing worth mentioning. One of the ways that I'm a very like analytical kind of a thinker, and I find that for a lot of analytical types who are like me, one of the ways that you'll find that the words start to stick more is just if you get way more examples in way more different contexts. It's a funny little aside, but one of my biggest qualms, my biggest problems with a lot of textbooks or resources is you actually don't quite have enough example sentences. Like if you just had more, I find that people can read through more, they can practice it more, and I find that can actually help them to really internalize it more. So just a fun little fact. So we looked at this one here. Le chat marche lentement vers la cuisine car il a faim. So the cat walks slowly towards the kitchen because he's hungry. We did this one here. Les enfants courent vers la mer pour nager. So they run towards the sea to swim. And then we did tourner à gauche et marcher vers la. I got rid of grande. Vers la gare. So toward the station. For poser, we did je veux poser une question. I just made it simple for you. I want to ask a question. I said, il va juste poser ses affaires et revenir. He's just going to go put his things down, ses affaires as like his things, and come back. And then we did, j'ai posé mon livre sur le lit. So I placed my book on the bed. Grâce à, we looked at, j'ai trouvé oh my goodness, I can't read today. J'ai trouvé cet excellent restaurant grâce à mon frère. I found this excellent restaurant thanks to my brother or because of my brother. On a fini de préparer le dîner très vite grâce à toi. We finished preparing the dinner very fast thanks to you. Elle parle très bien français grâce à ses amis de Lyon. She speaks French very well thanks to her friends from Lyon. And lastly, we did some with à cause de. Je suis arrivé en retard ce matin à cause des embouteillages. So I arrived late this morning because of the traffic jams. We did this one. I changed it a little bit. Le magasin est fermé à cause des vacances d'été. So the store is closed because of the summer holidays. And that was pretty much it. Cool. You can do it. I believe in you to reach this B2 level. Again, one of the big focuses to begin is going to be vocabulary. We're going to look at some more things down the line as well. But yeah, thanks for watching today, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Au revoir. Bye.